What are engineers trying to create using orange peels and cabbage leaves?
Great job! New building materials is the accurate answer.
Which materials are now largely used in domestic plumbing instead of lead?
Exactly. Copper or plastic makes sense, and it is right choice. Cotogest, a building material made of rectangular blocks of hardened clay.
Sharp thinking. Brick is the right choice.
Where were the Bangor blue slate roof tiles in the image previously used?
Great thinking. On the roof of a building being refurbished is the right choice. What is the primary benefit of recycling diapers into building materials? Perfect. It saves landfill space is the correct choice.
Which among the following is used in the outer surface of the building?
Right again. Paint is a valid answer.
Which material was used to build the Empire State Building in New York?
Nice work. You chose aluminium and it is correct. How many operating companies are under the building materials division? Well done. 6 is the right choice. After Nicole is finished building, she checks her tools and should dash. Correct. Clean them and put them away is the right answer.
What were traditionally used to construct non-load-bearing partitions?
Clear logic. Your choice locally sourced timber and thin timber laths is sound and 100% true.
What are coffee bean husks combined with to create building materials?
Nicely done. Plastic is a solid answer.
Which of the following should not be indicated in the specification?
Nice selection. Number of labours and their wages is the correct and valid answer.
Dash can be composed of clay, sand, and lime, or concrete materials.
Smart move. Brick is an accurate answer.
Which of the following is an example of a natural building material?
Law. Smart pick. Leaves is the correct choice. What property of gingerbread makes it suitable for building walls? You chose hard and stiff, and it is correct. What is the main material used for building gingerbread creations? Correct response. Gingerbread is the most accurate answer. Aside from timber, what materials are used in modern construction? Valid point. Concrete and composite materials is true.
Which part of the building is protected by the damp-proof course? Or
Excellent. The foundations or under the floors is a brilliant choice.
which among the following material is used as flooring materials?
Good thinking. All the above is the right answer. What is the main advantage of using coffee husks in construction? Solid response. They are lightweight and easy to install is a valid choice.
What is Huma Kitinko known for in the construction industry?
Right choice. One Stop Building Materials Center is the best answer.
The excavated materials are transported to the crushing plant by.
Excellent choice. Truck, railway freight cars, conveyor belts, or ropeways is the right answer.
Strong, solid, hard, stretchy, and stable are properties of what?
You're right. Building material is the correct answer.
Why do traditional buildings rely on the thickness of the wall?
Good job. Your answer to prevent water reaching the inside works well here.
To avoid costly damage to lumber and plywood, they must be dash. Well reasoned. Properly stored and handled is the correct choice. Crushing strength of a good building stone should be more than. On track, 100 Rempa is the correct answer. Why is cork considered a highly sustainable building material? Well picked. It requires no tree cutting for harvesting, is the correct answer. Which of the following is not an artificial building material? Bravo! Lime is the answer. Cement is manufactured by mixing calcareous and dash materials. You got it? Your choice, argillaceous, is right.
Dash is the structure forming the upper covering of a building.
Strong choice. Roof is the right answer. Granite is not suitable for ordinary building purpose because. Nice selection. It is costly is the correct and valid answer. Specific gravity for most of the building stones lies between. Nicely done. 2.5 to 3.0 is a solid answer. What do we call wood that is shaped and treated for building? Strong choice. Timber is the right answer.
How is green algae used in construction in Hamburg, Germany?
Correct response. To provide energy for buildings is the most accurate answer. What are the two main classifications of building materials? You got it. Your choice, natural and artificial, is right. What will we learn about building materials from this module? Bravo! How to identify types of building materials is the answer.
Why can clay be considered a sustainable building material?
Right choice. It can be easily extracted and processed is the best answer.
Which of the materials is most common in softwood plywood?
Sharp thinking. Veneer is the right choice. What thing from the ocean is used as a building material? Excellent. Suede is a brilliant choice. What is stone commonly used for in building construction? You're right. External walls, internal load-bearing walls, and roofing is the correct answer. What properties do steel, wood, bricks, concrete share? Right again. They are strong, easy to build with, is a valid answer.
What is not an advantage of wood as a building material?
Good thinking. Immune to damage from insects and weather is the right answer. What is a key feature of artificial building materials? Clear logic. Your choice, human processing, is sound and 100% true. A good building stone should not absorb water more than. On track, 5% is the correct answer. Materials commonly used for pitched roofs include dash. Perfect. All of the above is the correct choice. The stones which undergo dressing operation are called. Nice work. You chose building stones, and it is correct. What are the most common materials used for building? Exactly. Wood, bricks, steel, concrete makes sense, and it is right choice. Code to jest. processed wood used as a building material? Excellent choice. Lumber is the right answer.
What is a major source of natural building materials?
Smart move. Forests is an accurate answer.
What is the material used for the windows of a house?
You chose glass and framed with materials such as wood. And it is correct.
Which of the following building materials is natural?
Good job. Your answer, coarse aggregate, works well here. Which building material has low compressive strength? Well reasoned. Rubber is the correct choice.
What should you not do with pressure-treated lumber?
Valid point. Burn scrap materials is true.
C. A solid material made for materials such as clay.
Great thinking. Ceramic is the right choice. Which of these materials could pull up more weight? Well done. Steel is the right choice. The burning of raw materials of cement gives dash. Smart pick. Clinker is the correct choice. Flexible wall underlays covered by E2 as Wanari is. Solid response. All of these is a valid choice.
Dash bars give this building a very solid frame.
Correct. Steel is the right answer. What are examples of natural building materials? Well picked. Clay and timber is the correct answer. What other materials can be used for building? Great job. Plastic bottles, Lego pieces is the accurate answer. Which specific materials will we learn about? Well reasoned. Lumber, steel, concrete, and brick and block is the correct choice. Is copper still used in construction today? Nice selection. Yes, it is still widely used is the correct and valid answer. Cork is dash, sustainable building material. Right choice. A highly is the best answer. Non-homogeneous materials can be used dash. You're right. To reinforce concrete is the correct answer. Lumber inspection criteria are defined by. Excellent. The U.S. Department of Commerce is a brilliant choice.
A building material made of hardened clay.
Perfect. Brick is the correct choice. Which one is a sound absorber category? Good job. Your answer, all of these works well here. What is slate used for in construction? Nicely done. Roof covering and building external walls is a solid answer. Which is not a good rule for building? Strong choice. Use a narrow base is the right answer. To avoid damage to lumber and plywood. Excellent choice. Properly stored and handled is the right answer. Choose the correct building materials. Bravo! Cement is the answer. Brick and metal are examples of what? On track. Artificial materials is the correct answer. Wood and stone are examples of what? Well picked. Natural building materials is the correct answer. How is mycelium grown by humans? Clear logic. Your choice from waste materials, such as sawdust or agricultural residues, is sound and 100% true.
Artificial building materials. Valid point. Artificial building materials is true.
Natural building material.
Smart pick. Rocks is the correct choice.
Commonly used materials.
Sharp thinking. Widely used materials is the right choice.
Plastic bricks dash.
Great job. Reduce unused plastic in cities is the accurate answer.
What is concrete?
You got it. Your choice, a mixture of cement, water, and aggregates, is right. What is mycelium?
Correct. The root network of fungi is the right answer. How you will get all these quiz questions in PDF books format. Well done. Contact Narayan Changder is the right choice.